just wanted to jump on and have a little chat with you while I'm out in the paddock, because while most of my online content is focusing on growing food in the backyard garden, we also grow food on a larger scale because we own and operate a farm in South Australia. And I just wanted to share a little bit of our journey with the Lord in our farming journey, because there's lots of things He's been speaking to us about that are just as relevant as anything. You know, one of the things we've always been Christian farmers and always, you know, sought the Lord when it comes to decision making, but there's also been a bit more of a refinement maybe lately, a bit more of a challenge. You know, God's been really speaking into our lives about how everything we do is unto the Lord, which, you know, you can read that verse and you can know that, but I wonder sometimes if we forget to live it. And we can sort of think, oh, well, if someone's in a missionary work or has a pastoral role in a church, well, that has more kingdom impact than what we do in the everyday. But the truth is that we're put on this earth to make it a better place and to solve problems, and so we've sort of just been following a little bit of teaching around that and that's been really causing us to ask the Lord some different kinds of questions. Like, we've always farmed just the way that everybody else does, the way that we've kind of, you know, just the way the world does, and it's not that that's bad. I mean, our farming enterprise is not evil, but I've just been really challenged to think about, you know, if our role is to provide food for people, then are we growing things that are the best for them, and are we growing them in the best and most sustainable way? And it's just easy to think, oh, well, you know, the way that we bring God into farming is, we pray for rain, and there's nothing wrong with asking our Heavenly Father to provide what we need, and He's always gracious in that. But we've just kind of in the last few years also sort of been really pressing into, well, God, what's your strategy? What if there's another strategy? Farming is not the most profitable enterprise in the world. There's plenty of businesses that make more money, particularly if you consider the kind of assets and infrastructure that it takes, the cost of land and all of those sorts of things. Now, I'm driving on auto steer, but I do have to just turn the tractor, so I'm just going to pause the video and go again in a moment. Some farmers have nice big paddocks and nice long runs, but we just, in the scheme of things, we're not big farmers, and some of our paddocks are not very long, so the tractor can drive itself for a couple of minutes and then just got to turn it around and go back the other way. So anyway, I've got a couple more minutes. We'll see how we go, and I'll see if I can figure out where I was up to. So yeah, we were asking the Lord, inquiring of the Lord about a different way of farming, and one of the things He spoke to us about was the way that we fertilise the land. And it's not because it was bad, but because we felt that it was the fertiliser industry. It can be quite crippling, like the prices, the way they go up and down. We're really at the mercy of fertiliser companies, and global shifts and things going on can really affect us. And so my husband Steve, he's been playing around with what we call green manuring, which is growing a crop and then tilling it in when it's still green, and he does that with vetch, and we've done it in one paddock and had good results. And he really felt the Lord was speaking to him about doing some more of that, and we're sort of early in that journey, but it's just been interesting because we looked at a machine. We were praying about a machine that would help us with that, and that was quite a large investment for something we weren't sure if it was the right thing or a God thing or our thing. Like, it's not always an exact science hearing what the Lord is speaking to you about. But the Lord was really gracious in that journey, and as I was pressing in and inquiring about that, He gave me a set of instructions, which was basically, you know, to ask my husband if he'd looked second hand, because we were looking out a new machine because they're not very available secondhand. And then he gave me a number of things. He gave me a price. He gave me a colour. We'd been looking at a green machine. He gave me the colour red, and I saw an image of two farmers standing in a paddock, and it was just an interesting journey, because when I then asked my husband about it, he was like, yeah, I have actually been looking secondhand, and then I said, well, what colour is it? And he said red. And so then I opened up my journal and I showed him the notes that I'd made, and yeah, the journey went on. He rang the guy. The guy was like, I'm not sure if I want to sell, and so then I prayed again. I'm like, Lord, if this is a machine you want us to buy, then this guy needs to decide to sell it. And he rings back the next morning, yep, I'm selling. And I said to my husband, look, if you get there and there's two farmers there, then I really think this is from the Lord. And he went down, and it was a farmer-son enterprise, and they were both there, and they took it out in the paddock, and there were the two farmers in the paddock. And we just really felt that the Lord was just helping us in that decision. It saved us around $80,000 on buying a new machine. So we really felt there was a weight on that and a blessing on that, which was really helpful, because then the Lord sort of said to us, well, gosh, it's a bit bouncy, isn't it? That I actually want you to put half of one of your farms into vetch next year, which means taking it out of production and not getting income off that half for the year. And so had we not had that confirmation, I'll just have to turn again, hang on. Yeah, so had we not had that experience with buying the machine, I think that would have been harder for us to take such a big, bold sort of move. But the promise that we had was that we wouldn't miss out. And so we stepped out in faith. Fortunately for me, I think my husband actually had more faith than I had, even though I was one that had the word from the Lord. And I was kind of like, well, what if I've got it wrong? Like, we're putting a lot on the line here. But the thing we're learning about God is He knows our hearts, and even if we get it wrong, He promises to look after us. So it's not an encouragement to be reckless, but it is an encouragement to step out in faith and to say, well, Lord, my life's in your hands, my business is in your hands, and I trust you to lead me and to get me out of trouble of my own making. So we did that. It wasn't the best of years, but the vetch grew really well. And here we are a couple of years later in 2026, and we've got all sorts of things happening. You would have seen potentially in the news cycles, we've got the Iran war, and that's impacting our ability well, it's not impacting our ability to get fuel. We've been able to get fuel fine, but it is impacting our costs. And there's a potential that it's going to impact urea. We don't know yet, that's still unfolding, but it's certainly impacting the cost of that as well. And we're just sitting in a position where the Lord has already gone before us, and our needs are much less than they would have been if we hadn't been on this journey. So we don't have an ending to this journey. We don't know where the Lord's taking us. Sometimes things don't look the way we expect. It doesn't mean that the Lord's not on it, but it's a really fun journey. And the things that we're now looking at is, well, what are we growing? Are there things that are going to feed and nourish people the best way that they can? And just asking the Lord. So we've just been researching a few different options. We're just in the early stages of that. But it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it gives you a renewed sense of purpose that what we're doing is unto the Lord, that He's got us, He's holding us in the palm of His hands, and He's a good God, and He's going to look after us no matter what things look like in the physical. So that's just a little bit of our journey over the last few years that I just wanted to share with you as part of sharing just our journey and the assignment that we believe we have on our life to help people with food. It's an important need that God's created us to need food, and He promises to provide. And we just want to be His hands and His feet in that for as long as He calls us to do that. So anyway, I hope you have a blessed day, and that you got something out of this. I just encourage you to press into the Lord and inquire of Him for your own life, wherever you're at. Lord, what are you calling me to do, and how do you want me to use my hands and feet to bring the kingdom and to bring blessing to the earth? So bless you guys. Until next time. Bye.